Hi everyone, welcome to the Astros Corner on podcast. Today, I'm your host, Astros Tailgate on Instagram. And today we're going to be talking about the high and low. In a minute. This is beyond Astros podcast on the Baseball Podcast Network. On today's podcast, we'll be going to talk about the Astros all the time. This is coming from the Astros fan perspective and other fans. Today, which podcast we're going to be discussing about the high and low of the rebuilding team. We're talking about Mike Fiers no-hitter. And lastly, what if we won the LDS Game 4 in 2015 over the Kansas City Royals? First off, let's start off with the highs and lows for being an Astros fan in this era. The lows. The word itself is depressing, but this is the Astros, and we will have to be bad for some time in 9 to 2014. The Astros still have one player from that year, and that is Altuve, who's still on that team for us. The Astros have had so much success in 2015, but I'll get that back to shortly. There's one low being an Astros fan is staying from a fan, and that is the hiring of the Washington Nationals third base coach, Bo Porter. The way he manages the game for us, while this Astros fan is very happy of that hiring, which led us AJ Hinch. But Bo Porter may be a good base coach, but he wasn't never a good manager for the Astros, and also for any other team. The reason being because he doesn't have that mentality like other managers does. He doesn't know when to stop. He doesn't know when to leave this player in this certain lineup and change it up a little bit. Porter doesn't know when to see what's the weakness at a certain level. Now on to the positives, which are the players who made an impact in 2015. There's just players like Colby Rasmus, the late Luis Valbuena, in 2015. There's so many more I want to mention, but I can't. But who remembers the 2016 offseason who helped us immediately? Like Charlie Morton, who came out of nowhere to a Cy Young type of pitcher for 1 year when he was with the Astros. It's Charlie freaking Morton. Who will love him? Like us. Brian McCann, who has great leadership. He's a good catcher who has a lot of IQ of the game. He knows how to help that player and into improvement of that velocity. Sorry about that. And lastly, our very own Spider-Man, Josh Reddick. Josh Reddick came from an injury-prone 2016, from playing with the Oakland Athletics to the Dodgers. But he didn't do much with the Dodgers, they said. And I still recall to this day, they booed him in Game 1 of the World Series because he had a resurgent year with us in 2017. And today, with this team on the lineup standpoint every day, the Astros will figure out a way to get those players on board no matter what. Like seeing Michael Brantley turning out right now. He was the best player on the Indians team who won the division last year. But they don't have him anymore. We have him. Because we need that lefty power with Josh Reddick. And this future team right now is on the verge of endless amount of success under GM and President of Operations Jeff Luno. So let's get on to another segment called What If? What if the Astros won the 2015 against the Kansas City Royals? The Astros will advance the 2015 against the Blue Jays. The Astros will win on the World Series and take on the New York Mets. The reason I said that because we didn't do well against the Blue Jays, but we had a lot of teams on fire, like Kobe Rasmus, Luis Valverde, who hit a home run. Unfortunately, that didn't do much in Game 5. But Jason Castro started to get on fire. Chris Carter. And we had Dallas Keuchel. It would be a different story with him. Because he won Cy Young that year. But the Astros would have met the New York Mets in City Field. Not City Field. In Minute Maid Park. You know how well the Astros played in Minute Maid Park that year? They were the best home record throughout the major leagues. And that is surprising how bad their team was in those past couple of years. And if we won it all, we would sign Kobe Rasmus for a 4-year deal for $45 million at best. Then if we would have gotten Jordan Zimmerman, it would have been so much different because he would have been overpaid, like $100 million overpaid. And we signed Rasmus that year since we didn't win it all. And he has his career low since his rookie season with 15 home runs, 54 RBIs, and a career low average of 206. That is really low if you're going to pay $20 million to a player with this type of caliber. But Kobe did well, but he didn't deserve that type of money. That impressive 2015 season. If he wasn't there, I will say this: we weren't making the playoffs in 2015. And also saying that, the Astros wouldn't have the same success of today's game. Because Rasmus would have been an Astros still. There would be no Brian McCann, so Jason Castro will stay. And there would be Tony Sipp, who will also stay, but it wouldn't be that good. And after that, Mike Fiers would not be a part of the American League. He would be still with the Astros, not with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It means also no Garrett Cole. So, you might have like the 2015 championship or the 2017 championship with these type of players. So, if that's saying, what if we did manage to win over the Kansas City Royals? Everything about the Kansas City Royals in that year was clicking. They were getting players like Cueto, Ian Kennedy, and so many more. Which other players were trying to get. Other teams trying to get. But the Royals had a much better chance of winning all. Look at the Cubs right now. They can get any free agents they want if there's the right amount of money. Like Cizek, like Brock, so many more to mention. So that's our sentiment on what if we won it all. So if you think about having a championship team, think about 2017, not winning all in 2014. No matter, I don't care what anyone says about Game 4, we were destined to lose that game. And this is coming from a loyal Astros fan himself. And I want to say this. If Rasmus stayed, you wouldn't have the repetitive stat line in 2015. I will know that for a fact. Chris Carter would have been a natural still. There's so many more what ifs. But I'll get more into it in the future. Now, let's talk about Mike Fiers' no-hitter. On the day of August 21st, Mike, Mike Fiers had thrown a no-hitter against the Los Angeles Dodgers. In that game, Mike Fiers thrown a career-high 134 pitches in 9 innings and 10 strikeouts. You're saying, how do you know it's a career-high strikeout? And his other no-hitter against the Reds earlier this year wasn't too much. It was near about the same amount. And I remember seeing it, they were broadcasting it, they were saying, like, how many pitches he thrown against that no-hitter against the Dodgers. To this day, it's his career high in pitches. And especially that no-hitter was the first no-hitter in Minute Maid Park history. No other pitchers came close of getting the no-hitter but him. So when we say that, there's no talking about Darvish of the Texas Rangers during that time. I'm talking about that year for the Astros. That's a noteworthy Astros memory will last a lifetime for us, the fans. But being a fan and watching it on TV or the game or anywhere, you know what that magic feels like. You know how it feels, have that certain momentum of a no-hitter. So, well, Mike Fiers didn't turn out what the Astros hoped he would become once we acquired him. Unfortunately, no. But in 2017, he came back stronger than ever in mid-May. I remember him starting against the Twins. That was the first game he wasn't supposed to start. And someone got hurt, I forgot who. So the Astros called him in. And guess what? He delivered what he has to do. He kept the Twins under 5 runs. And he led us to win the ball game for us. That is something who you didn't expect to make the rotation or taking out of it. You would have been good, but it wouldn't be that good. Postseason good for us, the fans. No matter what, he would not have a exact fit. So, when you see the Astros with Mike Fiers, don't boo him. Thank him. Because without him having that no-hitter in that 2017 season, you would know how good Mike Fiers could be if he actually were patient alongside the plate. So, I wish I could say more on Fiers, but I don't. That's what I have on him. So, we have my last segment is why did the Astros move to the American League? Some Astros fans doesn't know the reason or the actual reason. And the actual reason is that when we moved to the American League, it would bring us some revenue by making it cheaper by $7 million for the Astros in Minute Maid Park. The reason I'm saying that because that meant that revenue wasn't bringing up fans. Nobody was going to the games. There was no fans at all to support the team. There was low fans by 10,000 now to today's game. It's more than 10,000. And also it will give the Rangers a geographical rivalry with the Astros. You know, like with the Philadelphia Phillies and Pirates, they should be in the same division. But they're not. So they did it with the Astros and the Rangers. So both of them will be a part of the same competitive division. I can't say anything about the Mariners or the Oakland Athletics or the Angels. But those two teams, the Rangers and Astros, were the height of the rivalry during that time. We may suck, but we won the Silver Boot in 2014. And so far, we lost it in 2015 and 16. Wait,